Jadon Sancho.
Yeah.
Star boy.
Joe should be here.
Reborn.
Sulia.
UEFA Champions League is here. We play the first leg of the semi-final. This is UEFA Champions League on Sulia. I'm hosting. I'm Selwyn and
I'm Larry G.
From G Sports and Joe Laud.
All right, let's get in now. 2 games have been played this week. We've had the first one, which was Real Madrid versus Bayern at the Allianz in Munich. And then we also had another game in Germany, which was in the Signal Iduna, which is Borussia Dortmund versus Paris Saint-Germain. Let's get into that one
so,
first.
I think before we start, let's talk about how the teams go here. Because I feel like the last round was very epic.
Right, we didn't speak about it as well. Yeah. So we had the first semi-final, which is Madrid and Bayern. Maybe you have, since you're wearing City jersey, you can tell us about how Madrid beat City at Etihad to get them in the semi-final.
Wow, what an epic game. I don't know if you all remember, it was a 1-1 game. Yeah, started with Rodrigo. The goal was so nice because he kicked it, the keeper saved it, but he still had the presence of mind to put it back in. And obviously, Kevin De Bruyne, the best player we've seen in so long, equalized. And the game went to penalties. Right. Very high stakes, very, big game. And then, what's his name? The most unlikely person, Rudiger, took the last pen and then put Real Madrid through. Yeah, and then Bayern Munich against Arsenal. Bayern Munich, obviously, we all knew they were going to win, but Arsenal pulled up a good fight. First leg, I think was
I'm sure everyone thought Bayern. Arsenal had a little bit of belief.
From mostly Arsenal fans, but Arsenal put in a very good show because the first leg, I think, was a draw. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. And the second leg, they lost narrowly to Kimmich. Kimmich's header. So that's how now we have Bayern against Real Madrid.
Let's go back to the penalty shootout. Did you see Rudiger points to it? You know what? It's like they're mates. Rudiger and Kovacic.
Yeah, I think there was an
they are really cool.
Interview. They asked Rudiger, who's his best mate in football, and then he said Kovacic.
Knows him very well. Yeah. So it's for your team. You have to give them all your.
So what will the convo like after? Because I feel so betrayed. But this is my job. You're messing with my money, bro. I'm sure we're playing at home during the summer, and you saw my penalty now at the highest stakes. Next time I won't come to your house. Next time when you invite me, I won't come because you're messing with my money now.
But epic tie.
Epic tie.
Very good.
That's why
if you miss that game, go see it again.
It was a very good game. Now let's talk about Barcelona. Since you're wearing Barcelona jersey, they were taken out by PSG. Some very bizarre circumstances, by the red card and all that.
Larry, go first and I'll talk.
Those two clubs have some bit of history. The Remontada.
Yes.
Remember, and I think it's good for Dembele.
That's what I was about to see.
Yeah, it's
biggest
good for him.
villain on the night.
Yeah. I think he had all the chips on his shoulders, and he proved that Barca should have probably kept him. What do you think? Good decision to take him to Paris, or maybe for this season they should have kept them.
I think it was the best thing for his career to leave Barcelona. He was getting injuries. He wasn't happy at the club anymore. So for him, as a Paris boy, need to go back to France to play for PSG. I think he's more comfortable over there with the team. They're also trying to rebuild. I think he was a perfect player for them. Yeah.
But you see, the problem is usually when you score against your old club, what do? We show some respect.
Not that Billy.
No, what do we do respectfully? Unless you are an asshole, which Dembele wore as his old armor on the day. But you see, in football, that could have been his motivation for the day. That these guys, I'm going to show them. And he played bruh.
Some players feel that they have to show respect. Some players don't care.
You don't even owe it to the club, really. Maybe you think the fans
does because when he got injured, there was Messi. Right. Everybody went. What did we say for Ojo today? Amino Dembele. They wore that to the jail. So if you score again, the least you can do is not celebrate. We're not saying just don't celebrate.
Maybe high octane Champions League.
He did it again. Even when they were subbing him off, he was smiling. ear to ear with his 32.
Well, shows that he's happier there. But let's move on. Dortmund also beat Atletico Madrid and they got into the semi-final. And that's why we had a semi-final tie between PSG and Dortmund. And then we also had Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich. Now we are in the semi-final. The first legs have been played, which is the first game, which is Dortmund and the Madrid and Bayern game was 2-2. And then also Dortmund defeating PSG 1-0. Larry, I'll start with you. Dortmund and PSG.
Let's speak of Real Madrid first because that was the first game.
Okay, sure. You can talk about that.
Can we talk about Real Madrid in the Champions League, man? It's just like
let's go.
I'm reading the Champions League.
Personally, man, I've tried to hate that club, but it just can't work, because I have a little bias for Barcelona.
Okay.
But it's just like Champions League heritage, really. And you see, the game seems so managed. And the second equalizer came in at a very opportune time, the best time for you to get. Now, like, I feel like going back to the Bernabeu, Madrid will fancy their chances as usual. And I like that game particularly. Bayern Munich looked like they were controlling most of the game, but they were quite slow in transition. They had the ball most of the time, but it's like they could have been faster, So, but I mean, the Kim guy towards the end.
I think Kim Min-jae is a good defender,
but that particular era,
he met smarter strikers. I'll put it that way because he's a very good defender. Yeah. He's good when he's coming back as well. He did some very good transitions, but with Vinicius, he's too smart. Yeah. He came in, he brought him because they studied the Bayern team and they knew that if they pull them up, they'll follow them because they were trying to man-mark them everywhere. And Toni Kroos, I mean, that guy he's a magician, he's a genius. Vinicius came inside, he brought Kim Min-jae with him.
Did you see the?
He gave
did
him
you
the
see how fast?
Exactly.
Yo, really?
And that makes
that was so crazy. Because he knew exactly what he was doing.
Exactly.
He was gone.
Exactly, something that they know. So he knows that if he come, he brings him out.
Just
goes to find the space over there, puts in there. 1v1, you can count on Vinicius any day.
Sharp.
And that's the problem. Real Madrid, when you come up against them, you do all your homework.
Yes.
You practice. You play your A game. So when you're playing, you think that yes, everything is going well for us. But then they'll pull a
one
like
great
that.
counter attack.
Or just the smart, little less space.
Before the game started, Thomas Tuchel said that with Real Madrid, before they score, you not think that they're about to score. Like 10 minutes before they score a goal, you wouldn't expect them to score again, and then bang, it just happened.
No, 10 minutes long. Maybe the 20-second build up, their center just passing.
Exactly.
What they are doing is looking for that run.
Perfect execution.
They have the players to play the
wherever you go, Toni Kroos will find you. So it's easier for them that way.
But let's talk about Vinny, man. It's come of age.
Reborn.
We were saying that before, really. Like, he's a real mature player now. I think, is he the leading scorer for the team now? This season?
I think Bellingham has 18. I don't know how many Vinny has, but I think Bellingham is
edged him a bit.
Yeah, I think just at these latter stages, he hasn't scored a lot, but at the beginning, Bellingham was really carrying.
People used to talk about Vinny saying that his end product was bad. He was good at a player, can dribble, can run everywhere, but then he's always last decision making was a problem for him. But I think he's improved.
You can say that now, man. Everything I've watched.
He's a mature player, and he's a player that you know that next season you're going to get more and more and more and more. He just needs the perfect environment, and Real Madrid is always going to be a very good environment for a youngster like that. So, I mean, he's going to go places if he keeps the same form with no injuries. But Rodrigo is also a very good player.
Rodrigo those kids are underrated player.
All of them.
He's still, the game that I expected him was against City last 2 seasons.
When he needed a goal,
yes,
and he came with it easily.
He came and the first side, bang, it's there, another goal. I was like, yo, who's this?
He's so underrated because there are so many other stars. People don't.
So, do you think with coming in of Endrick and Mbappe, possibly one of them would have to go?
It's gonna be Rodrigo. I feel like just the way they are using him already,
he won't accept
already not a starter. So he's not going to progress to being a starter. He'll be playing the same role.
Okay, so now we're talking about Madrid. Let's talk about Bayern as well in that game. Do we think that Bayern could do something in the next leg?
only because of Thomas Tuchel and because I've experienced Thomas. He's a cup coach. I fancy his chances as any kind of two-legged tie. So because of that, I think I'd want to see what he has to show us at the Bernabeu. It's not going to be an easy challenge, but I want to see Bayern top Real Madrid, even though I have a lot of respect for them.
Joe, before these rounds, in January somewhere, when we knew that Tuchel said that he's not going to be staying at the club anymore for next season because Bayern were performing very bad in their league, in the Champions League too, before these knockout games were very shaky. What do you think has changed for them to reach this level now?
I think Thomas Müller said
I was listening to that interview
that the Arsenal game was a turning point for them. When they beat Arsenal, their belief was renewed because they know because I think there was a match before where he was lambasting the whole team, saying that they didn't do well. But
Tuchel
that was the last year.
Thomas Tuchel or Müller?
Thomas Müller.
Okay,
that was the first leg against Lazio.
Yeah, so I feel like they've just found a belief in their because they have players like Harry Kane, Alfonso, Müller. They have ballers, so you know what it is. Yeah, so I think we should jump quickly to the second game.
Exactly. So let's get in with PSG and Dortmund. Joe, get us into that game quickly before we finish.
I can't speak. The first thing I was for Jadon Sancho.
Yeah,
star boy.
Joe should be here.
Reborn, and people are saying it's only this game, but if you've watched him since he got back, it's like he has found his home.
Yeah.
No pressure. Let's play.
Think,
Number 10. I think he got the most take-ons. I don't know if it's history or that day for a long 11 take-ons in one game, and he actually demolished them. And I was talking about the striker. What's his name? I can't.
Fulcrum.
That was a smart. The first touch with the the finish.
The first touch was the
sweet.
goal.
How did you defend that?
The first touch was the goal.
How do you defend that? So PSG, on to you. Let's see what you think.
They wasted too many chances,
so what do you think is going to happen in Paris?
Too much pressure on them. I think if they were able to get a draw in, Paris would be less pressure. But you never know. Mbappe under the bright lights will always show up.
That's when
I'm just sitting on the fence with this one, but I fancy Dortmund.
Yeah.
All right. So in 2013, we had Bayern and Dortmund in the final at Wembley.
Wow.
This year, we are going back to Wembley.
And we have Bayern and Dortmund in the
semi-final.
And it's delicately poised on both sides. Will history repeat itself?
That's a question now for you.
Find out next week on Sulia.
Sulia